Hello everyone, my name's Brian, and let's talk about being a sweaty tryhard. Now, in any format, there's always going to be the best deck. And the best deck in any given format is normally either some sort of value pile or some sort of combo that has kind of run away with stuff. In Legacy, it's more so the value pile that seems to be at the top of the meta for the past decade or so. And here, we have a great example of that. This is Izzet Delver. Now, Delver, not necessarily Izzet Delver, has been on top of the meta in Legacy, as I previously stated, for almost a decade. And even when they banned things out of Delver, most recently, they banned Expressive Iteration out of Delver, it takes a hit, and it takes a minute or so for it to come back. Before it was Expressive Iteration that got banned, it was Ragavan. Before Ragavan, it was Deathrite Shaman. Before that, there was also Gixie Probe. They're always trying to stomp this out, but they're never truly going to get rid of it for a reason we'll go into when I explain deck. But before I do that, I just wanted to talk about playing the best deck in a given format. As we know, decks are not magic wands, for lack of a better term, and just because you're playing the best deck doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win every match. Now, obviously, you're going to beat people who are not familiar with their decks, or decks that are really more for fun rather than for, well, competitive nature, but everyone knows you're 75. They know exactly what you're doing, so if they build a deck specifically to counter you, well, ain't that a thing? The only thing that keeps these decks predominant in the meta is because in the rock, paper, scissors of, say, for example, Legacy, there isn't a deck that can assassinate Delver and also deal with the rest of the meta. Now, we've talked a lot about, this being the best deck, but why would I have any interest in playing the best deck in a given format if I'm not the most competitive person on the planet? Well, first off, and if you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you'll know, sometimes you just need to play the monster to understand exactly what it's doing. Playing the deck gives you a better understanding of the deck, obviously, and that then allows you to better understand what it's doing when you're on the other side of the table from it. Also, let's be real, sometimes it is fun to play powerful things and have the cards do their best and do what they do. Powerful Magic decks are fun. Just the same way, against the odd style combos, 1 in 60 decks are also fun. It's all fun, but I believe a lot of us, myself included, unless you're trying to grind out points or win some sort of large tournament, would probably vary from deck to deck, and you can definitely see this if we look at the sheer number of modern decks I have compared to the number of legacy decks I have. Now, much like my Sneak and Show deck, my Delver deck you see here is the Delver deck I play in paper. I've been playing a lot more Legacy now. It just seems to be the more popular format around where I live, go figure. And when Delver got handed a ban in the form of Expressive Iteration, I figured, okay, well, I could probably get away with playing this for a couple weeks before I'm the sweaty tryhard. So I decided to also bring my deck 1-to-1 directly into Magic Online. Not quite 1000% true. I don't have the Bounce Fairy, whose name is escaping me right now. One half is Petty Theft, and the other one is the 3/1 flyer that essentially removed Vendilion Click from the meta. So instead, I put in another Force of Negation, which have gotten cheaper thanks to Double Masters, and an Echoing Truth, which really does the same thing most of the time. But other than that, this is exactly what I would be playing in paper. So hey, let's go ahead and play some games with this. I'm not going to do a league because, again, I'm still playing with certain things. This is what I play in paper because this is what I have in paper. And again, you've heard me talk about this before. In Australia, sometimes it's just hard to get cards. For example, I've been having a hard time getting charter courses. They're just not for sale. They're not expensive if you find them. They're only like 80 cents Australian. But again, just finding them for sale here is a little hard. So instead of playing the 4 charter courses, I just have a couple of preordains and more chain lightnings. And honestly, I've been enjoying the extra burn. But if this isn't working out, we can always put the charter courses in halfway through the video. So let's go ahead and hop into some one-on-one games, see how we do. Join me, won't you? All right, and we had a long roll-off that we eventually lost. That's how you know. We're recording. All right, so we have a threat, we have some permission magic, and we have a redraw. Now, normally you definitely want a 1-drop, but I think this is good enough to start out with. Let's see what our opponent's on. Ancient Tomb. Well, they didn't try and go for Chalice on 1, which is honestly kind of annoying to deal with. Preordain. Well, that gives us stuff to do. First things first. What are you doing? Simeon's Spirit Guide. So we definitely want to leave counters up. This is probably that red initiative deck that's been going around. We might as well get the Grenade. Steam Vent bottom. We do play one Steam Vent, by the way. I realized I didn't do much of a deck tech in the start of this. Might need to do that, actually. Another Bolt. No, we can bottom that too. We're trying to find a 1-drop threat. Ooh, a Brainstorm's fine. You know, when it comes to decks like this, I don't do a ton of deck tech on them because I kind of assume everyone already knows what's going on here. I don't reckon I'm going to be, oh good, it's going to be uncounterable. That's amazing. I didn't reckon I was going to be the, you know, first time you ran into Spellbind, Delver and Legacy, but tell me in the comments if you would have liked a deck tech on Izzet Delver, which is just play creature, protect creature. Also, it looks like I was wrong. We got an Elite Spellbinder. Taking a look at her hand right now. I have to assume they're going to pick Force of Will. Brainstorm. I can live with that. All right, so our counters are kind of not helping anymore. We can go ahead and chill for a bit. That Brainstorm now costs 3, but any humans they do, this might just be a humans list, are uncounterable, so there goes another one. Onoda, maybe? The 4-drop that needs red. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Yep. Okay, so we can't counter that. We can just kind of kill this thing. Just try and get as much in the bin as possible, because we're going to play our Murktide, I reckon. We're going to get to go through the Undercity a bit. So I guess this is the initiative deck that everyone kind of had counted out, but we're going to see how they're doing without White Plume Adventurer. This was a deck that has kind of fallen off a little bit as of late. I don't think it got killed with the removal of White Plume Adventurer, and White Plume Adventurer is also one of those cards that got banned, probably for other card sins. Like, you don't actually know if that was the big thing you needed to worry a ton about, but they sure got rid of it. All right, so we can go ahead and now cast a Murktide. Look at 2 +1/+1 counters. It will also allow us to take the initiative and stop them from dealing us a ton. Unless we can find another way to get that initiative back, though. Yeah, so they're gonna trap us soon, which deals 5, which is kind of insane, but we'll at least get to get a land and try and do something with it. Them having Cavern on 1, though, kind of hurts. Oh, man. And they get to explore again. Oh, boy. So, yeah, the initiative cards are good. The initiative deck is good. The removal of White Plume Adventurer seems to be affecting it very little. And that's what happens with a lot of the decks that get banned out of the format. You tend just to have to play better cards. And sometimes they just get better when you ban stuff, because people realize, oh, man, that was actually an awful card to play. But let's see what their next trick is. Magus of the Moon. Can't be countered, that's fine. We have our 1 island, which is more or less what we need right about now. Now counter their stuff, though. The Wasteland now is kind of annoying. So we can play the Wasteland. We can Brainstorm and still have 1 up. So what? We get dealt 5, 11, 13 if we attack. So we can't do that. Let's Brainstorm now to see if we can find something. Need a Bolt. Did not find a Bolt. So the Murktide region isn't terribly important, but I guess we could pitch that to Force if they try and go above and beyond. So we can just put the lands back, I reckon. Flipping the Delver is not on my list of things to worry about at this exact moment. We get domed for 5. It has a Lotus Petal. Just gonna come swinging in with the Seasoned Dungeoneer. Oh no, they are gonna attack with both. We're gonna block the Seasoned Dungeoneer though, because A, we don't want to die, and B, we want their lands to continue to be essentially counterbait at this point. Yeah, so now we can get rid of that thing. So Force of Will, pitching, what are the days? In a world where we find a Bolt to then cast the Murktide is really the only way we stay alive. So let's try our Ponder. We have a Bolt. We don't have the ability to Bolt and Murktide. Is there anything we can do? Let's think this out. We Bolt Magus of the Moon, and then our stuff unlocks, and we can need 2, and that's... Actually, no, we can cast. So if we go Wasteland, Bauble, Bolt, Shuffle Library, no. Use our land drop to Bolt Magus of the Moon, and then Murktide. Not a super large Murktide, but keeps us in the game. 7/7, what does this do? So yeah, keeps us in the game. Is there anything we want to blow up with Wasteland? Probably. We don't want them to have 1,000,000 free mana, so maybe if we cut them off their color a bit, force them to use the Lotus Petal to pay whatever it is they want to do. Another Seasoned Dungeoneer, that's not good. So now they get to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. But 3, I think that's just the end. I don't think we can come back from that, if I'm being completely honest. They get to start all over again. So we're gonna draw a Bauble, and then the Bauble's gonna draw a land. Oh, and they just kill us anyway. Okay, cool. Oh well, on to game 2. So Furies definitely. Holy Heats, yeah. Dazes are not great when they have so much of that other stuff going on. Snapcaster Mages just to try and blow up their stuff, maybe. Let's try this, and let's try and be a little bit better about keeping a hand that actually has an early threat. All right. Yeah, that's fine. So turn 1 Dragon Rage Channeler, and then hope they don't wasteland us. I mean, if they wasteland us, that's what we get. But, you know, this is Legacy we're talking about. All right, mana, we have our Dragon Rage Channeler. We also have a Force of Will if they don't have the Cavern of Souls, but they did mull to 6, so funny thing. Ancient Tomb, sure. Unlicensed Hearse, well, now we're good. So, exile the Preordain. We get to Dragon Rage Channeler. We have land instant, creature, yeah, we can bin creature, and then we can sorcery on our turn with Ponder, and we're already swinging in for 3. Another Murktide Regent. All right, so what do we find with Dragon Rage Channeler? Delver of Secrets. No, that's probably fine to keep in the mix. That hurts. So, guess we any order this and draw. A bauble. Okay, well, maybe now we'll find a land. Spell Pierce into the bin. The problem now is another Ancient Tomb. We kind of went off early and now we don't have anything else. So unless a undefended Dragon Rage Channeler is going to get there, this is actually looking pretty bad. But I suppose I should have given up on the Delver, but I was hoping to find a land. Ooh, we drew a Spell Pierce. So continuing to not have land is not great. Okay, just 2 Ancient Tombs. That's not all that bad for us. Delver. Okay, so now we have to brainstorm to find a land. So if it's not a land, it goes in the bin. Not a land, it goes in the bin. Top 3. Okay, so we find lands, which is good. In fact, we even find a wasteland, which is fine. So if we put back the Fury, because we're not going to need it right now, and we also put back, actually, wait. We want to put back Lightning Bolt. No, because we're not going to draw anything. So that was right. That's Lightning Bolt, then Fury, then Lightning Bolt. Okay, and then we play Volcanic Island, and then we play a Delver, and this is going to keep our pressure up pretty high. Next turn, it's going to flip over because of the Lightning Bolt. And then we can see what life total and what creatures our opponent has out. Arrakis, that doesn't do much. Elite Spellbinder, well, I can tell you what's going to get bolted. Probably Murktide. Yeah, I mean, that's fine by me, because we could still play that if we absolutely wanted to, because Delve is a thing, but truth be told, the Dragon Rage Channeler is working fine. Yes, we will reveal Lightning Bolt, and I know we have a Fury on top of our deck, but the Lightning Bolt just seems better right now, because we're going to get to blow up their white source, and we're also going to get rid of their creature. Oof, a Evoked Solitude gets rid of, I have to assume, our Dragon Rage Channeler. Yep, there goes that. So now we're not going nearly as fast as I would like, but I feel like we're doing fine. You know, they have mana, that's all well and good, but they also have nothing else, and the next turn, we'll draw Fury, but we'll also get to cast Murktide Regent. And the thing about our opponent taking the Dragon Rage Channeler as opposed to the Insectile Aberration is now we can just exile all of our instants and sorceries from our graveyard without caring. And we win the game going on game 3. All right. So we're on the play again. I wasn't terribly impressed with the Furies. I guess we want to go faster than that. So we can put the Furies back. We can put in 2 Dazes. This might be greedy, but I suppose I'm playing a greedy deck. Let's try that. All right, so we have our creatures. We have quite a bit of burn. We also have a Force and a Delver, so we'll obviously play Dragon Rage Channeler first for many reasons. Lotus Petal, sure. City of Traders. All right, whatever you play is getting forced. Yep, so this is 1 for 1 all around because I had to get rid of a Lotus Petal. And now next turn, I guess they can always tap then go, but they are going to get rid of their land next turn, so we can set up a bit here. We also have 9 points of burn in our hand. We have 2 card types. We have a sorcery, so we'll have 3 card types. And if we can find a creature or something else, that'll work. And at this point, it doesn't even matter if our opponent plays Magus of the Moon. Doesn't look like Magus of the Moon. Elite Spellbinder. Well, that's going to get kablamoed regardless of what they pick. Now, if they're smart, they'll pick Chain Lightning, because Chain Lightning will get us closer. No, they pick Lightning Bolt, which, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, sorcery seems more important. To play this out, we want to give ourselves the best bet here, so give ourselves another red mana. We'll Chain Lightning the Elite Spellbinder out of the way. Hopefully find a creature. Find a sorcery. We can bin that. That's not what we're looking. We're gonna have a bolt again next turn. Maybe we bolt and see if we're lucky enough to find it. If we're lucky enough to find a creature or a bauble. Found that, which probably shouldn't even be in the deck now. So, deal him another 1. We're kind of getting Hellbent super quick though. A Force of Will. Well, luckily for us, we're going to get another peak, get an island. I mean, we're going to try here because, again, we're just trying to go fast. Go fast, break things. Surveil. Oh, I'm glad I'm not going to draw that. The moment we find a Murktide or something, we're going to go just so fast. The Force of Will, I kind of wish it was a Daze, but again, I play very quick and I don't actually have a ton of draw twos, so my hand kind of actually empties pretty quick. This could be Seasoned Dungeoneer time. Touch the Spirit Realm. Are they just getting rid of Dragon Rage Channeler? They sure are. We have to draw something good. Brainstorm could be anything. We found the Murktide. So put back Ponder, put back Dragon Rage Channeler, Murktide, and just get rid of all of our instants. We got a big Murktide. We have no way of protecting him, and next turn we're just going to get our Dragon Rage Channeler back. The one thing we don't want to see is like a Solitude. Simian Spirit. You know, it's always a good sign when they just play out Simian Spirit Guide. That shows you are asserting dominance. Yep, here we have Dragon Rage Channeler, back with Murktide. We're at 4. We have a Ponder on top of our deck. If they get rid of our Murktide, we look pretty silly. Oh no, we win the match. All right, we are 1-0. Let's go on to match 2. All right, we again lose the die roll. This hand doesn't have anything. We'll mull. It's a little risky, but we'll keep and we'll give up on the Chain Light for now. Keep some Permission Magic, keep our cantrips and our big Murktide, hopefully to be our, later in the game thing. What our opponent starts with here. Underground Sea. Well, we are playing Legacy, so that seems correct. Duress. All right, so we probably lose our Preordain here. We're probably playing against some sort of Storm. Storm tends to have Duress, as well as Thought Seizes and Inquisitions and stuff like that. Yeah, there goes the Spell Pierce. So we're probably playing against Storm, which pretty much here, we just want to be quick. They're not going to go off turn 2, I don't think, so we do have time to play Delver. And they'll probably just start playing out their mana next turn, and then pretty much turn 3, turn 4 is when they'll go for the kill, now that they think it's safe. I mean, to be fair, it is safe. Another Polluted Delta. There's the Ponder. Our opponent chose to shuffle their library with the Ponder, so that's a good sign. What do we find on top of our deck with our Delver, though? Another Delver, so no, don't want to show that off. Play the Volcanic Island. Here's the thing. I guess we kind of want to go looking for a counterspell now with Brainstorm. So we kind of want to keep Spell Pierce around. So we'll put back Flooded Strand. We'll put back... Actually, wait. Murktide's probably too far away. So put that back, then put Preordain back so that our Delver flips. But also keep Spell Pierce in our hand in case they do something funny over there, or if we can probably try and just get them on their first ritual is normally a good way to stop them for a turn. Ponder. Well, I'm just going to stop their Ponder from doing anything, and again, hope they kind of needed that. They thought a lot about that. They actually thought a bit, so I think it successfully... it stopped them for a second, which is exactly what we're looking for here. So this is going to flip, which is great. Now... we can get our Murktide back if we want it. A Murktide and a Force of Will. So actually, we're going to put Murktide on top, and we're going to put Force of Will on top. We're going to draw the Force of Will. We're going to play a land, but we're going to keep the Delver in our hand to keep Force of Will up. All right, so we've established our kind of area here. All right, so they're starting to fetch. They must be trying to go for it this turn. Ball Ritual. Okay, so what are the chances they have Flusterstorm in their hand? Because if we just stop them here, can they do it again is the question. I guess we'll go for the Force now and do what I said about getting rid of their first ritual. Oh, they also have a Force. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, so they had a Force. I wonder what their last card is. What'd they pitch? They pitch a Thoracle. How are they going to go off from here? I mean, they have 4 mana and 1 card in hand, so they can do a Tutor. They can do the Hellbent Tutor, but what's going to... Oh, it's Doomsday, not Storm. Oh, brutal. Doomsday, I suppose, is a lot more common than Storm. Hey. I mean, next turn we do get a Murktide and deal them 3. The Murktide's going to be a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do only need to survive 2 more turns. And they got rid of one of their Thoracles. How many Thoracles does Doomsday even play? Because they have to get rid of most of their deck, right? So yeah, we can see now their Doomsday pile. Only 1 Street Wraith, so most of their deck is probably Street Wraiths. We're going to put them to 3, though. We draw our play the Scalding Tarn, Murktide, eat all of our stuff, crack them for 3, and hope they can't do it on 3 life. They can do it on 3 life, they get us. But I don't see how they do it right now. Consider, sure. Oh, but if they're okay, so they did get to 2. So if their last card is Oracle, they win, which I have to assume it is. Edge of Autumn? What? Okay, yeah. No, they still got there. That's a thing. All right, so we want our blasts. We want our forces. What do we not need? Probably don't need as much burn. Hey, we can take out 2 chain lightnings. We take out all of those. We take out 1 merc. All of our counters. Take out the preordains. 1 more. Hey, I already only have 3 baubles, so I don't want to take those out. Maybe just 1 ponder. Just put in 6 counter spells. Try like that. Alrighty, we get to go first this time. No colored mana, that's not gonna work. That'll work. Keep, and we can get rid of our baubles, sure. Okay, set us up for a quick start here, which is always nice. Dragon Rage Channeler, Mishra's Bauble. Sure. We have 2 dazes in hand. Trying to be as quick as we can here. Let's see what they're gonna get up to. A brainstorm. Yep, that thing. We have 2 counters in hand. We also have a wasteland. Another bauble. Did they bother with anything? Oop, stop yielding, Brian. Ponder. Yep, we're just gonna... You don't get to do anything about it. Plus, we want to flip something over to our bin. If you want to counter our days, you're welcome. Days are days. Yep, that's fine. Scalding Tarn. No, we don't need Scalding. Into the bin. This also puts them back a land, which is nice. Like, while we maintain back a land, we also already have our threat on the board, and they don't exactly run a ton of removal. Another Wasteland. Well, I feel like that's a later thing. Red Elemental Blast. Keep that on top. I don't want that. Delta tells us nothing. All right, we start swinging. So we'll have a Red Elemental Blast up. We'll also have a Daze. So again, we should be able to ruin their day quite a bit. All right, passes, which is fine by us. Steam Vent. No, Wasteland. So the problem is the longer they have this set up, the more likely they're going to be able to fight through, admittingly, our piddly counterspells, so they are. But I would really be hoping that Dragon Rage Channeler is hitting for a lot harder right now. Brainstorm. No thank you. Last. Trying to get them to use their counters on things that don't matter. Instant. Leave it on top. It's damage. Come on. Use your... Oh no, looks like they're going to give up on the Brainstorm. We find a Lightning Bolt. We'll just play another Wasteland. And we'll see if we find a Sorcery. Lightning Bolt. No, we're going to keep the damage. I mean, obviously, in hindsight, you bin the Lightning Bolt if there's going to be a second Lightning Bolt on top, but 4 damage a turn is still more than 0. Cycling Street Wraith, nothing we can do about that. Misty Rainforest. They're just going to keep passing, which is good for me. Can I finally hit home with this one here? Spell Pierce. No, but we kind of want that again. Swing. I'm going to leave the Steam Vent in my hand so that it looks like maybe we have Force. Underground Sea, sure. So while they do that, we'll kill that. Yep, force them to use this all in their main phase. So now they have the Underground Sea, which can't kill quite yet. Shieldred the Apocalypse. Now, I have to assume that they also have a counterspell in their hand. Force of Will. Shieldred the Apocalypse. At this point, I think we bin this. I don't need our thing to fly, like, right now. We find another burn spell, though. Ponder. All right, so we might find a burn spell. Who knows? All right, this will make our guy fly, but we need to find one of our 3 remaining bolts. Murktide is a no. Murktide's not a burn spell. Delver Blast. That's the old any order. Find a Brainstorm. Yep, all right. The good thing is we put them to 1. The bad thing is... they're going to gain 2 life. We're at a pretty high life total. We also have a Steam Vent in our hand, so we can blow up their land, leave them at 2. Just try and make it as hard as possible for them. So now they have to kill the Dragon Rage Channeler, and... oh, no, we win. All right, so we successfully grinded them out. I'm even going to take a Lightning Bolt out, put Chain Lightning back in. That's 2 and 3 because we need the Sorcery. Yeah, I think that's all we wanted. All right, let's see if we can pull a win out of this. All right, so no threat here. There's counters, but we kind of need to stick something, so we'll try for something better. This is okay. Not great, but it's okay. We'll get rid of the Steam Vent, and obviously we'll put Darcy down first. We just want to draw... Brainstorm for later, Darcy for now. We do have Daze. And again, you do just want to punch out their cantrips if you can. Please just pass. All right, good. Wasteland. That seems like a winner. We're not going to play the Wasteland out immediately. We're going to Brainstorm, see what we find. Are they going to Brainstorm now? Oh, they're going to get the Underground Sea because we already played our land. They're going to Brainstorm. All right, so they might get a turn with too many lands, so it might have been a mistake. Force of Negation. No, leave that on top. All right, so what do we put back? We put back the Bolt. We put back Delver of Secrets. We play our own Delver of Secrets. Did I put those in the wrong order? Probably should have put back Delver then Bolt. But we have 2 counter spells now, so we can hopefully fight through them at the moment. Bring down 2 Underground Seas. Another Brainstorm. Well, I will do this if you let me. Yeah, I put Delver on top. That's going to go in the bin. Luckily, Darcy's here to correct my mistake. All right, we got 2 card types in the bin now, and we still have our Force of Negation. What would really hurt is if they just went for Doomsday now with Force backup. Ponder. No, we're not in a position to continue beating up your cantrips, unfortunately. Kind of only have the 1 counterspell left, so we need that, and we know we're just going to draw 3 damage is the thing. We are going to knock you off a land, though. It's going to feel just duress. Yeah, no, this way you can only take 1. They have to take the Force. There's no world where they take Brainstorm. Huh, all right. I guess they do that because they recognize now I don't have a second blue source. I mean, unfortunately, they're going to be right. So we reveal our Lightning Bolt, play our Wasteland, we kill one of their lands, just trying to keep them off of mana. Then we are going to Bolt. Got nothing better to do. What do we find? Find a Force of Will. We're going to keep the Force of Will on top. We attack for 4. Next turn, unfortunately, the door's open. They have 3 cards. I don't think they can win in 1 turn, but also if we don't manage to find more damage or flip the Darcy, they'll win the match. Oh, they're just going to punt. Okay. I guess their life total's kind of brutal at the moment. Well, now we have a counter. We have multiple counters. Only play 1 though. So he's swinging for 4. They go to 6. So they're going to Doomsday down pretty low. They go to 5. Are they going to go all the way to 4 is the question. Doesn't seem like it. Hey, we win the match. That's 2-0. Let's go for another one. For those of you keeping count at home, we've lost 3 rolls now. No land, no keep. This seems fine. Give up on probably one of our cantrips. We're going to leave the Bauble just in case we do find the Darcy, because this is an amazing hand if we, top deck a Darcy. This is not going to be an amazing hand, though, if they Thoughtseize our Delver of Secrets. Mountain, Aether Vial. Goblins? Feels like goblins. Our Spell Pierce does little and less, though. I don't remember if Goblins plays Wasteland or not. I gotta be honest, guys. All right. Yeah, no, it's Goblins. That has confirmed my theory. Draw Force of Will, which, now that they have an Aether Vial, isn't gonna do much. Not gonna lie. Schadenport. Ugh, boogity. Right. Porting down our land, which means we might as well bolt now. We're not going to have access to it in a second. Wasteland. No, but that is awesome to see. Take that, Schadenport. All right, so if Delver had flipped, we wouldn't get Wasteland, but also I'd be in a much better position. Let's see what our opponent gets up to here. They can now just put that Mog War Marshal directly into play. I love that original Time Spiral printing. I mean, I don't see any reason why they would. They have another Schadenport. Cute. Love it. Yeah, they'll do it if we're silly enough to attack into it, but come on, flip. Flippity flip. Flippity floopity. Scalding Tarn. That is unfortunate. So they tap down our land. Yep, nothing we can do about that. We do get a Scalding Tarn, though. These guys definitely play Wasteland if they have it for Schadenports, so I'm just going to get the basic, and I'll ponder. All right, so Steam Vent, then Chain Lightning, then we'll pick up the Brainstorm. It was, oh no, I hit Shuffle. Oh, that's great. That is a punt. Okay, so we had an amazing Ponder, and then Brian misclicked, so... Oh, and then I attacked into the Mog War Marshal. No, Brian, no! All right, sometimes one punt leads into another, so we're going to see if we can recover from these punts here, because we essentially just did that for free. We got nothing in return for that. Okie doke. What do you got, opponent? Swing out with your Gobos. Sure thing, boss. Another Aether Vial, sure. I was about to say we're gonna get all of our land next turn, but no, we are not. We got nothing to do with that, so that's cool and fun. We did draw the Brainstorm, though. We'll preordain, see if we can save this. Bottom. Found the Dragon Rage Channeler. Cool. The thing is, we're kind of behind because we whoopsied everything. Like, we would have had a Delver if we didn't screw up right now, but, you can't always do everything. Their 2 vials are going to start ticking up. 2 Schadenports, you say? They probably shouldn't attack. Oh, I mean, if they have Tarfire, that's hilarious, but we'll go ahead and just take out one of them. Gem Palm Incinerator. Feels... Oh, I thought that was to player, but no, it's to creature. Yep, kill our guy. Our opponent is really capitalizing on our punts right now. So this is what I was talking about in the intro, rather than introing my deck, is the best deck is not always going to be a magic wand. All right, we get a Brainstorm. Okay, so we can put back the Spell Pierce. We can put back the Daze, and we'll draw the Daze. All right, now we'll Ponder. Now, we need a threat, so this one we do want to shuffle. All right, Murktide will work. Murktide will work great next turn. We'll go ahead and wait on the old Lightning Bolt. No reason to snap it off now. I'll happily take 1. That doesn't bother me at all. Cavern of Souls. That is very unfortunate. So now they can play whatever goblin they've been holding on to and not worry about it. Hold this. Problem is now we can't cast Murktide because they're porting down 2 lands. So if we draw a land, we get to Murktide, but I don't think that's what's going to happen here. Delvers. Shore deck. All right, yield through the turn. Hopefully they get greedy and they leave 2 mana up so we can get a big Murktide down before they just value us out of the game. But we are surprisingly in a game where I punted just one after the other. More Cavern of Souls, continuing to make 2 of our cards in our hand completely useless. Muxus? All right, so they Muxused. Gonna get a whole bunch of goblins. Woo! And they have haste. Oh boy. So, and then they get a million +1/+1s. Hoif. Shot Archer. Yeah, that is game 1. We punted that one into the sun. All right. Fury's good. Holy Heats are good. Snapcaster Mages are even fine. Take the Dazes out. Take 2 of the Forces out. Take a lot of the Permission Magic out. And just try and grind against him. Let's try that. All right, we would love to play first. Does not have an early threat mull. No, I also don't think this is gonna work. Not enough of anything in this hand. Try one more time. All right, it's the best we're gonna do. So keep, get rid of one of our lands. So we get rid of the Force and we just try and outrace them. Leyline of the Void! Oh man, we got punished immediately. Oh boy, that is brutal. So our Dragon Rage Channeler, which we kept a hand to try and really advance on Dragon Rage Channeler. No, that goes to the bin now. And we got punished. I have a Cavern of Souls. Well, at least the Force wouldn't have done anything. We get to draw a card. We have a Snapcaster Mage. That's hilarious. That does nothing. Oh, they're going to Wasteland our land too. We got demolished this game. So game 1 we punted. Game 2 we straight up got outplayed. Lightning Bolt, yeah, sure. There's so much graveyard going on right now though. Leyline of the Void, I've actually, when I was doing some practice before I turned the camera on, I was playing against decks that just had it in the main. And again, like when you have something as ubiquitous as, you know, Delver running around that uses a lot of its graveyard, it's just correct. We'll ponder up a bit. Another ponder. Nope, that's not going to help. All right, so we can probably play with this. So Bobble on the bottom, followed by Rainstorm, followed by the Tarn. Put the Tarn in hand. So now we'll have a little bit of land and we'll attack because they haven't done anything yet. Then again, you know, it's only turn 3 and they spent one of their turns wastelanding. And we have a Ambush Viper. All right, they're just passing through their turn now. All right, we have a Spell Pierce that probably should have been sided out. Keep forgetting to take those out. I mean, if they try and play an Aether Vial, I suppose that'll be annoying for them, but not really something they need to worry about, if I'm being completely honest. Cavern of Souls, sure. On Goblin, nothing we can do about that. We can do something now, though. Yeah, no, you get the mana, but you don't get it for very long. You get 1 opponent, whatever your 1 is. Goblin Warchief, sure. Goblin Warchief, soon to be bolted off the field. Lowy, Unholy Heat, we definitely want that. Even at 2 damage, that takes out most of his deck. All right, so we're continuing to keep the board clear somehow. And if they do nothing, we have a Snapcaster Mage, and then we'll start doing 3 a turn. Oh boy, this is so bad. Oh, they had another Cavern of Souls. They get to do whatever they want to do now. Goblin Matron. They get to put something directly into their hand. Goblin Ringleader. Yep, just filling their hand at this point. I guess we'll Unholy Heat this, only because Filtering's nice. Delver, we would like. Next turn, they're going to Ringleader. Nothing we could do about that. Hopefully, our Delver flips pretty quickly, but they're going to get quite a few creatures. Aether Vial. Well, this is our only target for this, so you have to make it your whole turn, and we get to look at our top card, which is honestly more important than wasting their turn. Nope, that can go in the bin. That is not a instant or sorcery. There's no way that, yeah, I was about to say. It did take their whole turn, though, and we are just trying to go as fast as we can here, because boy, do they go faster than us. Spell Pierce, sure. I mean, I'm glad it's here because it flipped our Delver, but shouldn't be in the deck. That's quite sad. The problem is we're quite a few turns away from just killing them with the Insectile Aberration, and we lost game 1 out of being bad at the game of Magic. Red Elemental Blast. Here, we'll use this to Prevail again. Oh, leave that on top, sure. It's fine by us only because taking their whole turn, although I have to assume they didn't have much more going on. Yep, Delver time. More Red Elemental Blast would hurt, though, depending on how many of those they have. And also the fact that we're dealing 1 damage now and not 4 is quite unfortunate. Goblin Lackey, yep, all right. So Goblin Lackey is going to absolutely eat us if they have something to hit our Delver. But if he just attacks, we'll just block. Yep, okay. I see this as a fair trade. Oh, they have a Lord. How fancy. So they get to keep their Goblin. Volcanic Island. Well, that's the last thing we want to see? I'll go ahead and yield through turn. Not much we can do at this point. I mean, I'm sure the Ambush Viper is going to be surprising. Don't think it's going to be much more than that. Oh, and they have an Edict. Okay, well, this is unfortunate. This is very unfortunate. That Leyline got us good. Oh, man. Can you imagine if we had a Murktide right now? Back with both. All right, good. Luckily for us, Ambush Viper. Didn't get Elemental Blasted. Coming in, though. Oh, sure. Oh, no. I think it's safe to say we've lost this one, guys. First game was a punt, and bravo to our opponent for taking advantage of it. Second game, we just got outplayed. You know, best deck in the league is not a magic wand. You will take some L's every now and again, and this is feeling like one of them. Oh man, Sling Gang Lieutenant. Oh boy. What do we draw? We draw a Scoop? Murktide. I think we drew a Scoop. All right, so that's 2-1. Can't win them all. Let's go again. 4 die roll losses in a row. Oh baby, oh baby. Oh man, the one island is hurting us. And we're gonna go second, so we can't even keep the Spell Pierce up. You know, we're gonna see if this works. This is pure I wonder now. Misty Reinforce could mean literally anything. Bayou. Looks like we're gonna get Thought Seized. Ooh. Noble Hierarch. I'm gonna stop them from ramping. Only because our hand is so weak anyway. Very red hand. We'll pass, we'll brainstorm. I mean, in some world, if they play something Dryad Arbor, sure. Well, I feel good that I kind of gave them something to worry about with the Force of Will. Ooh, Wasteland? Days Volcanic Island. So put back... Maybe even put back the Force of Will. Put back the Force of Will, put back Chain Lightning. Because we're definitely going to Wasteland Bayou. Let's keep Days up. All right. We probably should have had the Force of Will in our hand, actually. But, you know, four games into a recording, I clearly can only play 2. All right. So they're done letting us blow up their lands, or so they think. Because I'm pretty sure I'm very tempted just to Chain Lightning their Dryad Arbor and put them back down to 1 land. In fact, I think that's exactly what we're going to do, is just continue to play... You know, we're not playing Delver, we're playing Death and Taxes. Take that, opponent's land. We're playing Land Destruction. I wonder how many lands they had in that hand. I mean, this is clearly some kind of Maverick we're playing against, I think, based on the Bayou and the Dryad Arbor and the Noble Hierarch. So this is some kind of Nick Fit or Maverick or whatever it is. Value pile. Non-Force of Will value pile, which I salute you if you're playing... Scoops it up. Game 1. And we win the match. 4th one's a nice quick one. We'll go ahead and call it there. All right, let's go on to game 5. 3-1, technically. Oh, boys, he came back. He decided he wanted a round 2. I'm normally pretty only meh on someone coming back for another bite, only because, like, you know, you throw away, like, a handful of play points. I think it's 20 to enter. And then they're like, oh, man, that guy's back. I think I can beat him with a better start. So that's 1, 2, 3. We'll have 3 in. I mean, we know he's playing like the Nick Fit Mavericky thing. Don't think this is fast enough. This had a colored mana. This would be great. All right, you try this. Put 2 cards back. Ponder and the Bauble. Our Murktide's kind of our key to all of this. I'd also like to point out we lost every die roll this entire video. Trop into Ponder. Oh, did they change decks? This would be interesting if they signed back up this time with a different deck. They chose not to shuffle their library, so whatever they found they liked. Lightning Bolt. Steam Vent, untapped, and just pass the turn. Undraw. So we'll try and brainstorm. They might force it, which is fine by me if they want to daze or brainstorm now. Oh, okay, they didn't counter. Cool beans. I don't think we need a second Murktide right now, and we'll just draw the Wasteland. All right, first things first. I don't want you to have white. I feel like that's more important. Ice Fang Coatl. Sure. Rid of one of their lands. We'll ponder. I think that's in any order in a pitch. Ooh, drew another land. This is bad. We have so many Scalding Tarns in hand, that's very bad. I mean, our opponent had to have kept, plenty of land. After what happened to them, you know, round 1 versus us, I can see what happened there. They again chose not to shuffle their library, so that's the thing. They start the beats with Ice Fang Coatl, which again is an annoying card, but not the biggest one to worry about. We draw. Oh, many lands. All right, we'll keep the Bolt in our hand for now. Ice Fang Coatl dealing us 1 is not going to be terribly scary. Swept Teeth, sure. We'll Bolt at end of turn if they don't do anything. End of turn, all right. Get rid of the Coatl. I don't think they'll bother saving that. Just start getting stuff out of our deck here. Get the Volk, why not? All right, so the good news is we'll get to play our Murktide. The Murktide, 1, 2, 3, and then just whatever. So if this resolves... which I, 50-50. The guy is playing blue, so he can clearly have Force of Will in 3, 2, not necessarily forcing, but doing something. If it's just good old counterspell. Oh, no, it's Bayou. So maybe they're going to Edict? Getting all their lands. Endurance. Little late on the Endurance. Also, I have Daze. Hey, we actually got it. And now we have a 6/6 guy. The problem is every card in our hand is a land. Every last one. I have to assume our opponent has more than that. Oh, it's just Swords to Plowshare. Well, we gain 6 life. Ponder, yeah. Flooding is a thing. It is quite the thing. Although, seeing how greedy our opponent's mana base is, I kind of wish I had a Blood Moon right about now, but not in any of the 75 here. Dragon Rage Channel. Well, we just want to continue to try and get stuff out of our deck. Heal through the turn. Because Endurance has Flash, doesn't it? Yeah, if they Enduranced on our upkeep, that would have been brutal. Leovold, Emissary of Tress. So now our cantrips don't work. And bolting that thing off the field actually places itself. We need to get our bulks and stuff. You get to draw a card, an opponent. There you are. You get to draw a card. We get to surveil. Yeah, I think we'll actually put that in the bin to turn on our boy here. See if they save Leovold. They're thinking about it. Force of Will. That's fine. I mean, we're at 19, and now we have a flyer that's going to beat them up every turn. Until we draw a cantrip, the Leovold's actually not super annoying. They did get to draw a card, and, it pretty much at that point became 1-for-1. Yeah, you can blow up our land. That does literally nothing. We have so many lands, opponent. You can blow up our land as many times as you would like. True Name Nemesis. Okay, so now the race is a little bit more tilted in their favor. Preordain. So we can use that to scry. We can also use Dragon Rage Channeler to get rid of stuff we don't want. Bulks. This doesn't steal, it just stops us. Yeah, okay, cool. This is just a scry 2 with a surveil. Ponder, nope. Graveyard. Both these to bottom. These are not what we want. We are really looking for a Murktide. We're looking for more bolts and stuff like that to get rid of Leovold. Because our opponent kills us in 3 turns, we kill them in 4. So that math is just not going to work out. Another Preordain. So another scry. Daze. Nope, that ain't going to do it either. Delver. No, I don't. So we play a Delver, we chump, we take 3, we chump, we take 3. That's not going to work, though, because they're going to deal us 6. We're going to go to 3, so both of these have to go to the bottom. Play our last land, because they know about it anyway. And we really need something that can... I don't even know what we need now, actually. I'm pretty sure we're dead, because we can't affect the True Name Nemesis. Because they deal us 6, we go to 3. Yeah, no, I think we just got outraced here, which, 6 versus 3 makes sense. We are going to get them to 5, but even if we top deck like a bolt, it's not going to do it. That's funny deck. All right. So what are we going to do here? Definitely the Elemental Blasts and the Heats. Is Fury worth it? What's not worth it? I guess we can take out Preordains, take out the Spell Pierces, I think. Dazes seem okay. But actually, I guess the blasts are better. Anything else we want? I guess we can just bring these in like this. Maybe even put back a Daze. Try that. All right, we would love to play first. Sure, this seems good. If they play a Leyline of the Void, I'm going to feel silly. All right, we are good to go. Here's our Darcy. Darcy do a lot of things, truth be told. So pretty much what happens now is we snap Brainstorm off on our turn if we don't find a land. Because if we don't find a land, if we flip anything that's not a land on the Surveil, we bin it. If we find land, though, we can Brainstorm into a Delver, which is nice, or Brainstorm into Wasteland and take out their Tundra, which is also nice. Obviously, we want to find Fetch. What do we got? If they Daze, that's actually awful for us. Red Elemental Blast. Nope, that goes in the bin. Really feels like a Daze. Feels exceedingly like a Daze. Ooh. Oh, buddy. Put back. We're going to Wasteland. So we can put back, say, the Lightning Bolt and the Wasteland. Play a Wasteland. Rid of that thing. Cool. Doesn't seem like they have really basics going on. So either they do nothing with their turn, play another Fetch, or they play a Fetch, fetch it, and then we're going to draw another Wasteland, which is cool, and we'll get a Delver down. Another Tundra. Looks like just a cantrip. Blue Elemental Blast. Okay, that's fine. We get to blow up their land and play a Delver, and then it's going to flip next turn, because we know it's going to flip. But first things first, Delver. Do you want to Daze opponent? No. All right. Goodbye, land. So if they have a red Elemental Blast, or even just like a Swords to Plowshare, that's a thing, but we are cutting their mana again. Scripted game. Oh. Suppose our opponent is a little salty about playing us, but again, I was in the queue first this last time, the first time I did join them in the queue, but this time they joined me in the queue, and they obviously knew who I was at that. Anything we want to change? I guess the Daze isn't very good. Force of Negation or Snapcaster, maybe? Probably Snapcaster. Try that. All right. This doesn't have a threat. This doesn't really have anything outside of a Chain Lightning and a Fury. So we'll mull. This seems better. Keep. Get rid of one of our lands. Rest is pretty sweet. I mean, it's a really red hand, but seems pretty decent. Drop into Bird of Paradise. Ooh, that is getting bolted. That is getting so bolted. Just whistle while I work here. Do tale as old as time, bolt the bird. Bye, bird. So stopping them from ramping seems just amazing. We have 2 card types. We're gonna have 3 card types next turn when I play Darcy. Here comes a Quaddle, I think. Green Sun Zenith. Okay, so they're gonna get the actually for 1. Oh, Noble Hierarch. The good news for us is we get to play Darcy and bolt their Hierarch, which if previous games are anything to go by, they're gonna probably Salt Scoop at that point. All right, bam. Darcy in the bin. So now this is going to turn Darcy on. Great. Murktide region, not in the bin, in the hand. Well, not in the hand yet. It'll be in the hand next turn. I got to draw a land. That's fine. I mean, we're keeping them off of colors and off of ramping, maybe. Draw a Merc, which we get to decide what we want to do with the Merc. Endurance. Well, that kind of decided for us. The good news is that put back a whole bunch of bolts into our deck. So hopefully we can kill Endurance now. Snapcaster Mage. Not entirely what we wanted. Rainstorm. Red Elemental Blast. That can go in the bin. A Fury, which can probably go back for now. I mean, we have 2 Ponders, so if I put back Snapcaster Mage, I put back Murktide, get the Island, just in case. Ponder. Dragon Rage Channeler. No, we'll leave that on top. Alright, so we need the Dragon Rage Channeler. So if we go Scalding Tarn, Wasteland, Dragon Rage Channeler, no. We draw that, we evoke Fury, pitch the Dragon Rage Channeler, see what they do about that. Oh, they don't do anything about that. And then Dragon Rage Channeler gets her groove back? Sweet. Ponder. See if we can find a better threat at this point. Wasteland can go to the bin now. I don't think we're winning on that front. Definitely any order that, and Lightning Bolt. Okay. Here's the thing, though. We are now Hellbent. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, which, you know, might be better than a single Lightning Bolt and a Darcy on the field. When it goes to 17, we're at 18. I mean, if they just start dropping True Name Nemesis and, like, they're, please don't have a white mana, actually. Oh, no. Here comes Leovold. Oh, no. Prismatic Ending. Yeah, Prismatic Ending. It's a good card. We're now in top deck mode, which is not great against an opponent who has better top decks than us. I mean, unless we find the Murktide, which I realize we did pitch away. Don't get me wrong, I did that to us. Minor misstep, sure. We'll just pass. We still have a Lightning Bolt if they try and Leovold. Looks like another Endurance. Honestly, I'm happy with that Endurance putting most of that back into our deck. I am totally fine redrawing like bolts and redrawing our cantrips. These are fine right now. Delver, that's neat. If he starts hitting in, that's honestly fine by us. Wasteland, that's fine. Still have enough lands, and you put lands back into our deck, so not worried about it. Oh yeah, you can come in for a bite if you want. I can definitely drop to 15. All right, please flip, Delver. Ponder. Yes. Ponder time. So many bolts. Okay, so 3, 6, then it would be 12. So this actually gives it to us fine. I mean, if they kill our Insectile Aberration with another Endurance, this is wrong. But if they don't do anything about the Insectile Aberration, this should actually be able to scare him quite a bit. Or we could just do this, opponent. I'm perfectly fine doing this too. Continuing to bolt our opponent down. We still have 2 more bolts off the top of our deck. We might just win via burn. This is fine. Rename Nemesis. Okay, so now they have a clock on their side. Here comes another Chain Lightning. All right, so after this, we don't know what we're going to draw, but they're also at 5. So we're going to put them to 2. And then after that, we just need something. As long as we don't draw, like, lands or Force of Wills at this point, we should be pretty good. All right, we get hit for 3, which is fine by us. So please do not draw a land. Another True Name Nemesis? That's unfortunate. Oh, I don't know what this is. Green Sun Zenith for 3. Sure. This is going to go get Leovold. Uro. Oh, that's very unfortunate. That's gonna hurt something fierce. Okay, well, this one's slipping away from us. Don't think we have anything to stop Uro. Force of Will, not gonna do it. We just pass for now. If Lightning Bolt was a blue card, it would work a lot better. But they're gonna Uro next turn, and they're just gonna start gaining so much life that my burn 'em out Gambit. You'll also remember I said lands or Force of Will are very much L's. All right, here comes Uro. Goes to 10, so we are officially a little screwed. I think the value pile got us on this one. Brainstorm. I mean, maybe. Who knows what Brainstorm can find. Pyroblast. Okay, that'll work. So if we put back Force of Will, then Scalding Tarn, or actually Lightning Bolt, and then Scalding Tarn, can we get rid of that? The problem is True Name Nemesis clock really got to us. Okay. Don't think we can attack right now because they deal us 7. Oh, also endurance, which is evil. Okay, the problem is we know what we draw, and it's not gonna get us out of this. Like, we would need our top of our deck to just magically become Murktide. Continuing to not attack with the endurance is the thing. There's the land we know about. Not much we can do, unfortunately. I think True Name Nemesis, which by the way never works for me whenever I play True Name Nemesis. He tends to die a lot when I play him, but when my opponents play him, that is a good Magic card. True Name Nemesis, being originally made for the Commander table, completely unplayable in Commander, but boy is it a house in Legacy. I mean, cards like this really should have told WotC that, you know, maybe don't put cards directly into the game that don't have to go through Standard, but they learned nothing, and instead they released an entire set, 2 sets actually, that just go right into Modern, bypassing Standard. So, boy howdy. All right, not quite sure what our opponent's taking so much time to do. He pretty much has us on the ropes at this point. Because, like, next turn, he could even just attack with endurance, and we have to block. So not sure what decisions there are to make here. Ice Fang Quaddle. Yeah, sure. Just swing with everything, right? Man, I would have swung with everything. Okay. So we've lost. There's nothing in our deck that really gets us out of this, but we'll try. We'll see what we can grab here. Red Elemental Blast. Well, we can't target anything with that, so that is the end of that. I had a feeling this guy was going to keep pitching his play points into the abyss until he just finally won, though, so glad he got to get his W. Let's go to the wrap-up. And there you have it, a 3-2, which is what you can expect when an average player plays a very good deck. Obviously, it is a strong deck. We saw it win quite a few games. We saw it win quite a few games quite easily. But it's not infallible. It is not auto-playing itself. You kind of have to pilot it because you can absolutely make mistakes. See Game 3 where I got my butt handed to me by goblins. But yeah, no, it is a good deck, and the thing is, and this is something that a lot of people in Legacy agree with, you can't ban Force of Will. Force of Will is a safety valve because there are so many decks in Legacy that could win on turn 0 or turn 1 if Force of Will didn't exist. You need to have that free counter in Legacy, and Force of Will, everyone agrees, is a necessary evil. It is evil, but it is a necessary evil. Daze, on the other hand, is what a lot of people are pointing at and saying, this can probably get banned. So this is what they believe is kind of making this pile here, the Izzet pile, a little too good for its own good. And again, that's why you see so many Delver decks in Legacy metas, because it wins, and a lot of people like to win. You know, sometimes I really want to win, sometimes I just want to play the game, but Daze is really making it kind of a brutal deck to go up against. I guess they could also ban Dragon Rage Channeler. I think Modern Horizons is a mistake. All Modern Horizons. Modern Horizons 1 and 2 is a mistake. Having to rotate Modern, and the fact that, you know, this is what happens when they're aiming at Modern. Can you imagine if they took an aim at Legacy and tried to rotate Legacy specifically? They already rotate Legacy with Modern Horizons, but yeah, I don't like it. It is a fun deck to play. It's a pretty safe deck to buy into. And again, like if you're playing online, the dual lands cost nothing. They cost like $10. They cost what they should cost if the reserve list wasn't a thing. But let's not get into the reserve list right now because I'm having a good time. In paper, if you have the cards, or in paper, if you play a place where, you know, proxy is allowed, or if they let you hint, hint, wink, wink, the ones that should come into play tap, but oh, you missed the trigger and now it comes into play untapped. Oh no. Things like that, you know, absolutely. Get into some Legacy. It's some good fun. Truth be told, I've been enjoying it a little bit more than Modern as of late. Modern has so much Modern Horizon just piles running about, and there's not much you could do about it. It's the nature of the game. But hey, before I go into a rant, thank you guys very much for watching. I will have something new and exciting to play next week, or it might just be the Modern version of Delver, known as Izzet Murktide in Modern, because I clearly have the pieces now. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have a list you want me to look at, go ahead and email me at HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com. That's HeyDummyPlayThis@gmail.com, and I will catch you next time. Later.